I'm really excited to be here at the Regeneration event in Dro, Italy, and to see the student group's presentations. They are tackling an existing building, very challenging, and I'm sure that I'm really inspired by all of their ideas. Thank you for all being here and being part of it.
Welcome to Centrale Fies, Innovation. What are the main differences between Living Building Challenge and LEED certification? And what are the differences between LBC and other protocols used in the rest of the world?
Yeah, the Living Building Challenge was created to really go beyond what many other green building certification programs do, which is really get the main market just to work more efficiently and make some small changes to the existing market that make buildings a little more efficient or a little bit more environmentally friendly. The Living Building Challenge looked at a completely different end of the market to make change, and we felt that we really need to look at the innovative edge of buildings. What if we could create buildings that are truly what does good look like for buildings, and how could we set this really high, lofty goal of what our built environment should be in the future. So I would say the Living Building Challenge is about setting the future goal of innovation, and many of the other programs are about targeting how to do green building now within the current structure and framework, and we're saying, what if you were to change that structure and framework, what could it look like then? So we're really sort of operating at different ends of the spectrum of change for green building.
Why do you use the image of a flower as a metaphor for your certification?
Yeah, we use the flower because a flower operates within the energy and water resources it has. It's pollution-free, it's beautiful, and we thought it was a good metaphor for how buildings could behave and inspire others to be. So what if buildings were beautiful and operate only within the energy and water of their place and operate without causing pollution? And it's been a good metaphor because, when the program has been tested sometimes or challenged, we come back to that metaphor of the flower or of nature, and we do believe that buildings could operate in a similar way to natural systems.
What do you think about a regeneration of buildings? What is your vision about it?
Yeah, we are trying to move buildings towards this concept of regeneration. And the idea of that is that, if our buildings truly acted as if they were a natural system, that they could start to regenerate and provide energy or clean water for their community. They could be part of a natural ecosystem that allows other ecosystems to thrive and to regenerate. And in many cases, the living buildings have been used to actually regenerate a really harmed or devastated ecosystem, or a community that really needs a total rejuvenation. And so we're looking at buildings being an active part of an ecosystem to create positive change.
A strict approach to the terms of regeneration might be considered as reserved or niche. What can you say about it?
Yeah, definitely. We are not in the market of mainstream every building. It's setting a really far-reaching goal to explore what might be possible within our built environment in ways that currently maybe many of us are like, I don't think that's possible, how will we ever do that? So it is in some ways a niche intentionally in order to create and make new possibilities and new innovation and create a pathway for many other buildings to follow. And already we see that. We see innovations that the Living Building Challenge has caused now trickling into other green building rating systems and causing them to get, progress more and get harder. And so it's really meant to be a niche that drives innovation for other green building programs to follow in its footsteps.
What are the actions undertaken by LBC on the areas already built, on the existing buildings?
Yeah, existing buildings are definitely more challenging when you don't have perhaps control over perfect orientation to the sun, or maybe you don't have the land to infiltrate water. There can be a lot more limitations, of course, for existing buildings. We have many projects who are existing buildings doing Living Building Challenge. We have a few that are certified, and we have several that are in design, and they are focused more generally on the materials paddle of our program, achieving paddle certification versus full living building certification, because materials for existing buildings are very, you control all of the new materials put in. But we have some existing buildings that have they've become net zero energy, for example, that they've been able to achieve that through energy retrofits of the building. It's more challenging, but then some existing buildings feel that some new buildings feel they have a harder time because they have to research all the materials from scratch, whereas existing buildings don't have to change the materials they have, they just have to look at the materials that are new. So there are some good pathways for existing buildings to explore the materials side of the program in particular, and I think we need more existing buildings to trial it and see how we can transform water in particular. I think that's one of the hardest for the existing buildings.
What are your goals for the future? What strategy do you use to spread the word around the world?
Yeah, we have seen our program growing pretty rapidly around the world, and really we've been reactive to people finding it and approaching us and being engaged through our volunteer network. We have a really fabulous collaborative and ambassador network that brings in volunteers and trains them in our program, and we've been very reactive to people wanting to join. I think the shift we will make in the next 5 years is for us to be proactive, so targeting specific countries or markets and thinking about where we can have the most impact, and being a lot more strategic about where we grow internationally. But for sure, our growth internationally has been strong, and I think we will continue to grow.